Santa Barbara. Is there business here? You betcha there is. There's everywhere that we live as people, there's business for renewable energies. As you can see, we did have a little bit of a curve here, where our consumption was high, and now it took a little drop. Okay. With the advent of the more advanced energy efficiency measures, we can see this drop substantially.
Is that what's causing the drop now?
Yeah, you're looking at energy efficiency measures that you're seeing this drop here as the result. We've actually had an increase in population into the regions, but our actual consumption per capita has actually dropped a bit. So there has been certain efficiency gained by these measures, these rebates and so forth. But again, nowhere near to what's available out there to be done once you wrap your mind around the fact that these are the things to do for your wallet first. This is the California Solar Initiative Trigger Tracker. Every nation that has had these solar programs put some sort of incentive for it to kickstart the industry. And as the industry matured, they keep scaling back the incentives. Additionally, they set low regulations on the quality of the installs, and then as time went on, they upped those regulations. For example, in California here, as of July 1st, 2009, they started requiring a written and signed warranty for 10 years on the workmanship for all these solar installs. Has to be sent in and registered with the state. Prior to that, there wasn't such a warranty requirement, and there was some questionable work. But they did that, they let it slide a little to get the industry going. Yes, there were some casualties, but this is what it took for us as a region in the world to get these things going. So what's happening right now is, and this is current as of yesterday, Edison Country here for residential is now on step 4. So you can look at step 4 here, and you can see that the incentive rate is $1.90, okay? But there's only 6.84 megawatts remaining on that step. Those will be gone by September, okay? And what's going to happen now is you're going to be looking at $1.55. That's a big drop. You can bring in a solar company, they can size the system, design it, get all the specifications down on paper, and you can reserve your rate for a period of up to 18 months. You're not obligated to do the install, but they are obligated to hold that rate for you. And that's what you're basically seeing here, as these are, oh pardon me here, this is the amount that's been reserved through those reservation letters. Something to consider. And once again, you're not obligated to act on that contract. Typically, your solar company is going to charge you some kind of a deposit. The maximum you're allowed under the Contractor State License Board to charge anyone is $1,000 deposit. There's a 3-day buyer's remorse period. They're going to charge you something because they do have a considerable time investment in getting out to the site, designing the system, and so forth. If you chose not to go ahead on the contract, they may or may not give it back to you. That all depends from company to company. As you can see, we here in Edison Country have been doing the least solar installs. PG&E up north, way ahead. San Diego area, way ahead. But we're coming up, but it's good. People are waking up. We've got great financing programs coming on stream now. And basically our rebate levels are pretty high still. So now is a good time for solar. And bear in mind too, these rates were set when solar panels were a lot more expensive than what they currently are. You can get solar panels $2 a watt. This time last year they were $3.50, $4. That doesn't mean the cost of a solar system has dropped by 50%, it just means those panel costs have dropped. The inverter costs, the wiring, the labor, that sort of thing hasn't changed. Basic solar system, On striking the panels, it comes into an inverter, sends that over to your home. If your home doesn't want the power, it's going to send it up to the meter and out onto the utility grid. It's good to share power. And what this is allowing you to do is set up a solar system that doesn't have any batteries, because the grid becomes your battery. If you're not using the power, you send it up, the meter tracks what you sent, and later on, when the sun is not shining and you need power, you can just draw it down and the meter again tracks it. Now, up until recently, if you created an overage on your residential system, you didn't get any kind of a payback. Currently, they are going to reimburse you for up to 5% of your annual production. You can go over by 5%, and they'll cut you a check. It's not a big check, it's around 12 cents a kilowatt hour. Not a lot of money, but at least they're not taking your power for nothing.
Now that we have our foot in the door on that, do you suppose that eventually the cap will go off, or it'll increase the amount? Years down the road, it's crystal ball.
I think we all know it should.
Yeah.
Okay. What it is, you're looking at power shifts and politics and so forth. I had speculated a year or more ago that it was going to take a homeowners association to even get that 5% that you're getting now. That just came out of the woodwork, almost out of thin air. Okay. Maybe there's a politician out there who needs help or whatever. I think your homeowner should be able to become a power producer, unlimited power producer. You know, staying within building codes now. We don't want panels hanging off the tree limbs and all that. But within reason, I think they should. There are others who may argue differently. We are America, the corporation, and we will tend to look after the larger corporate interests as they kind of tend to take care of us all. But I think you're going to see that there's quite a bit of a leveling that's going to occur here over time. I don't see how they can block out the homeowner from being a free participant for an extended period of time. Commercial system, very much the same. Same basic thing, except that with the commercial system, you've got other opportunities and how that power can be sold off. For you, the investor, anytime you can find a building that's got power consumption, you got a piece of business there. Because you can always go in and make an argument, at least for some portion of their power consumption, that if you can amortize it over a period of time, it's going to put them in a cash flow positive position immediately. Okay.
If you're off the grid on batteries and you have excess energy, how do you deal with that? You shut the system down? How does that work?
Well, usually shunt it out. You throw it into the ground.
In the ground.
You know, I mean, it may be that it's time to start up a home-based business that's going to use that extra electricity. Right. Maybe you get yourself a CNC machine and start feeding it some stock, and you just let that thing run all night long.
Okay.
I mean, it really, literally, the advent of the solar age is literally giving us a whole new Wild West. There's so many things now you can dream up and apply this towards. You know, there are, CNC is just one of them. There are a number of processes you can be doing in your backyard or in your garage that require electricity. And if you have that electricity covered, you'll be in a profitable position.
I'm sorry, I was going to ask the same question. So what did you say? You dump it into the ground?
You can shunt it.
Shunt it. And what's that mean?
Well, you're just discharging the power to the earth.
Okay. So it won't blow up the battery or something? Do you do many battery systems?
Typically not. No, we've designed some. They just never got pushed because they're so darn expensive. People think they want batteries, but really they don't for the cost of it.
And won't those batteries in the electric cars be used eventually to do the same thing?
Well, and this is speculation. In 2008, as a planet, we spent more money on research and development for new chocolate bars specifically than we did on battery technology. In 2009, we spent more on batteries than chocolate bars for the first time. Now, we all talk about lithium and lithium-type technologies. The fact is,